Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today in today's live stream show. I'll give it a few more seconds or minutes for everyone to join us today. I want to thank everyone who's going to be joining us today. We're going to be holding the Q&A for after today's session is done. Today's session is really short, just a couple of slides, just to go over a few additions, features that we have with Perception Neuron 1.0, and this is something that we want to share with a lot of our users. That when we have a couple of hardware that's included with the kits, and a lot of users have a question with what do they do with this hardware that they have, which is the universal strap. So I want to go ahead and give a good explanation for everyone to have out there and feel comfortable on when, how, and where to use it. So these are very important questions there. So let's give it a few more minutes. Okay, so we'll give it a few more minutes more for everyone to join us today. At the moment, we won't be going any new tech on CES. We're actually not attending CES this year. This year we are attending other shows. We'll keep you guys posted on the live events and on the events that will be coming up and joining. A lot of exciting stuff coming up this year, so we'll keep you guys posted. Make sure you guys are following us on our Facebook and all our Twitter feeds, social media feeds, all that good stuff out there, so that you guys are in the loop. And that's one of the biggest reasons why we're doing the live stream per se, for example, today. So that's something that we always love, looking forward to speaking with everyone out there. Okay, so let's move on to the slides so that you guys can see what I'm showing today. And so let's move on forward. We have a few people joining us today, so let's go ahead with the short class. If you have any questions, I always like to tell everyone to make sure that they're reaching us through contact@neuronmocap.com. That is the best form of communication for us. Definitely one of the best way that we can give you some feedback, answers any questions, any ideas of projects that you have, etc. So send us an email at contact@neuronmocap.com. That's the best form of communication. So in everyone's kit that they receive, you're going to see that there's a Perception Neuron Quick Start Guide pamphlet. It's a very small little pamphlet, and it's one of the most important things to see when you first get your kit. This is the Perception Neuron Quick Start Guide. Once you open it, you're going to see one of these steps here. Step 1 is check your contents, and that includes the neurons, a couple of USB cables, the base glove, the quick start guide, the hub, dual pogo pin cable, prop cable, the reference cards and warranty card, and also the body straps and gloves. One of the items that is not included in there, but it is included physically in your kits, is actually the universal straps. So what are they? How do they look? This is what they look like. These are the straps that are included in your kits. They're housed in anti-static, one of our anti-static bags. So this is something that's very helpful for everyone to have as backups or for troubleshooting. I'll go a little bit more into why we included that. So at the moment, this is only for Perception Neuron 1.0 as of right now that we're speaking. So let's go over what are universal straps. Why do we include them? So we include it because it helps troubleshooting sockets throughout the suit much better. Saves time and perform self-support. So we want our users to be able to self-support on their own in case of when one of the straps goes bad or something needs to be replaced. So we included that in those kits for all our users out there. Another reason why is because MOCAP sessions are important. meaning you do not want to have downtime. So in case if something does come up and, for example, you might have damaged one of the straps by, impact or something like liquid or, some physical form of damaging, and, you need to replace it, we included those little straps so that everyone can replace those on the fly. And then another reason why we're going through this video is because if you're not assigning these universal straps accordingly inside of Access Neuron, what's going to happen is that the sockets are going to be tracking for a different bone, and you're going to have some kind of like weird tracking, and it's not going to look very natural. So imagine assigning a left arm to a lower leg or something like that. When you lift your left arm, you're going to be actually rotating the lower leg. That's something that you don't want. So that's why I'm going through this video, so everyone understands, a quick step process how to do so. So, the other question is, when should you do this? When should you replace it? One of the most important things is that you need to make sure that all the sensors, if there's any missing sensors that are not coming up in the sensor map, that they've been swapped over, just to make sure that the sensors are working, of course. When you connect the equipment to the Access Neuron, you're going to see a little searching bar, meaning it's detecting the perception neuron kit. And then what happens if you see one of these sockets not show up in your sensor map? This is obviously a major problem, because you don't want to have that missing, for example. So that's something that's very, very important. You want to be able to replace those right away. Okay, so that's why that's the most important part of knowing when to replace that, when you have an issue with the sensor map not showing all the sensors in the map. So, one of the major questions is, where can you put these universal straps? You can place universal straps in the right upper arm, right upper leg, right lower leg, right foot, left upper arm, left upper leg, left lower leg, and left foot. So these are, very important. You don't want to have that. Sorry about that. Just kind of making sure I'm keeping up to date with the comments here. So these are, the locations where you can place them. You can't place them in the head straps. You can't place them in the upper body straps for obvious reasons. These are sockets that, or the gloves for that matter. You can't use the universal straps to replace the gloves. So that's something very important to remember. So how do you do so? How do you replace it? So there's different scenarios that you can replace them. There's about 3 different scenarios. In your kits, we provide 2 universal straps. There's, you can replace, I recommend using the extra one first and then the extra one too, in case of a second strap goes, shows any trouble. So the first example is, let's say, for example, if one socket is down and you need to, you replace it with extra one socket. So what happens in that case? All you simply have to do is, grab the socket, the extra one, replace that socket into the trouble sensor that is in the suit. And then what's going to happen when you connect to Access Neuron would automatically detect all the present sensors, and then it'll auto-assign the extra one sensor, extra one socket to the missing sensor that's not present. So it's very, very quick. You won't even notice. It's like under the hood kind of connection, and it will go right away to a full body function for the capturing. Scenario number 2 is if, for example, let's say you have 2 sockets down and you use only one extra socket. In this case, extra one. You're going to get a dialog that's going to ask you, okay, I'm seeing two empty sockets right now that are not present, but I do detect some kind of a universal strap. So you're going to get a dialog that's going to ask you, okay, where is this socket located right now? So, and this is very important because if you're using different body modes, for example, if you're using lower body mode only, you're using upper body mode only, this is something that you want to keep in mind so that you're not assigning it to the wrong location. That could be very important. So in this case, you'll see here in the screen where I have 2 sockets that are outstanding, that they're not present, but there's one universal strap that's detected. And very small little text, I know it's very hard to see, but you're going to see like an A3 on that little green dot. That's where currently the universal strap is being auto-assigned. And of course, Access Neuron is asking you, hey, is this correct? Is this where the universal strap should be assigned to? So in this case, I had taken a screen capture of this. In this case, I had assigned the universal strap physically on the right upper arm, sorry. And all I did was simply drag and drop that red dot into the right upper arm space where you see that that right upper arm socket open. So then you manually assign that so that Access Neuron can understand where it is. Access Neuron cannot detect where this extra sensor is located because there's two possibilities. So it's better so that you understand where it is. A3 is extra 1. I'll go more in depth into that to the next slide of the reference to use. So that's kind of the best way to do so. Just make sure you're assigning that one. And scenario number 3 is, let's say you have 2 sockets down and you have to replace both of them with extra 1 and extra 2. Now, this is very important because if you do not assign them correctly, you're going to have swapped tracking, and you don't want that. You don't want to have your physical right arm tracking the left foot or something like that. And then you're gonna have some kind of like weird Resident Evil kind of tracking thing, which you don't want. In some cases, you might need that animation, but you definitely don't want that. So you want to go ahead and assign them correctly. So again, you're gonna get, when you have 2 universal straps present, Access Neuron will give you a dialog, and the user must assign these extra straps. So at the bottom here, I put the referencing name. This is very important to understand, to know that you have extra 1, which is A3 on the dialog. Extra 2 socket is actually A4. So in this case, I've done this multiple times, and in this case, I have extra 1 located in the right upper arm, and I have extra 2 in the right foot, and Access Neuron will give it to me inverted. It'll be swapped. So what I need to do is simply just drag and drop that A4. I'm sorry, drag and drop the sensors correctly how I need to. In this case, in this little image here, I have the sockets assigned correctly. So I have A3, which is extra 1, into my right upper arm, and I have A4, which is my extra socket 2 on the right foot. So this is the right way to do it. Always keep in mind that don't just click next, and then what's going to happen is if you didn't assign them correctly, or you didn't see if they were assigned correctly, you're going to have data that's not going to be usable, and that's when you think, or you might feel like something's going wrong. So this is something that keep an eye out for. Don't keep it, give a good attention to this, so that whenever you are using an extra socket, it is used correctly. One other thing, going back to the why, is that you can help troubleshoot sockets through the suite. So, for example, if one of the sockets are not showing up, and and you want to send us an email or contact at neuromocap.com for any support, just let us know if you've used an extra 1 or extra 2 socket in place of that trouble socket. That'll give us a right away solution of what is going on. Obviously, if one socket is not working where it should be, and then the other one does work, then we know that the original socket is giving trouble. So obviously, that would be we need to give attention to that. And then through our contact at neuromocap.com, we'll walk you through a couple of steps and resolve the issue for you. So this is a very simple way of doing things, and very important that we provide that so that you can speed up troubleshooting, you can do self-support, and you have no downtime. And then obviously you do the assignments of these straps correctly. So we'll leave this video up there as a reference for everyone out there so that they can use this going forward. I hope you guys found this information very useful. It is a very short and simple explanation of how to use it and when and where as well. So that is the wrap of the whole sessions today. And I'll go ahead and jump into the YouTube so I can get any questions, any comments regarding the today's show. Again, I want to thank everyone who joined us today. We really appreciate everyone joining us today for the today's live stream. We always very much appreciate everyone's inputs, feedback, and viewership, of course. We want to have everyone involved as much as possible, which is always good for everyone, with feedback and any questions like that. So, what is the name? Again, I'll just reintroduce myself. I am Daniel. I'm here working out of Miami. I'm customer support. Any questions you guys have with contact, any questions you have with Perception Neuron, you guys can always send us an email, contact@neuromocap.com. I also oversee those questions as well, so it's always good to hear everyone out there. And always love seeing the loyal fans and users out there, so it's always a positive. So I'll give it a couple of more questions. Yes, and we apologize for any previous weeks where we had a few issues, technical issues with the stream. We're always looking for the best solution for providing these information with live stream. So we're going to be continuing this for the next week's show. I will go into more in depth with iClone. They're adding a lot more features. These guys are doing amazing work with getting everyone's feedback and improving the software, and almost, the software is professional, so it is something that you can use out there in the field, no matter what you're doing with 3D animation, VFX, or for previs. Is something not to be overlooked. So next week I'll be going into more in depth with iClone and its new tool with the curve editor. This is a very useful tool and used a lot by many animators out there to tweak the animations. We all know that when you're doing mocap work it's less than half of the battle. You need to also animate, clean up animation no matter what system you're using, either cleaning up animation curves or just retargeting, or just kind of reorient your character for scene. You might, for example, one of the big example I can give you, if I'm a 6 foot tall person and I'm tracking for a 3 foot character, and obviously you might, where it's not a one-to-one capture, you will need to do animation cleanup so that the character can interpolate the animation that's been recorded correctly. So this is a tool that they've added, Curve Editor, that's very helpful for a lot of users out there, and it makes it a lot more of a customizable animation that you can do now, and much more friendly user eyes. So definitely something we'll talk about next video. We'll try to have more input from users for this week, so that if you have any questions, any projects examples that you might have, send us an email, throw it out to us in Facebook, so that we can also include that for the following week as well. So always fun to hear everyone out there, and let's see if there's any more questions before I close this session. So right now, iClone has solution for face capturing. They are integrating more features into it. A lot of information I can't give out there at the moment, but there's a lot of exciting stuff out there coming in the future. At the moment, right now, with the iClone, Relusion's iClone, they have a plugin for faceware. And the workflow is basically animating or recording your character first, and getting that animation for your character. And then once you get that animation in there, then you can record through a webcam or any other camera device using Faceware, which it's more like integrated into their software. And then you map that face animation into the character. So it's kind of like, you do one portion first with the full body capturing, and then you do the second portion with the face capturing. So, at the moment with that featured all alone, it's actually revolutioning because it's more accessible to a lot of studios out there, not the AAA studios out there that can afford that price range. So this is something that's very accessible for a lot of people. So yes, so I'll give it one more question. See if anybody's out there. So, okay, I think that's it for today. We'll keep this video posted for everyone to use as reference. I want to thank everyone out there for joining us every week and giving us the feedback, any questions out there. So this is very exciting for us. So thank you so much, and we'll keep in touch. And again, just let me put that dialogue here. I'll put that on the screen there for everyone to have. Make sure you email us at contact@neuronmocap.com. So I want to thank everyone and make sure I put that there. Thank you. So till next time, everyone. Thank you so much.